was back in 1992 when a group of progressive women met in Dasha's small kitchen in New York. The idea was to establish the Central East European Network for Gender Issues, a unique political, ideological, free space for the exchange of opinions on the transformation of politics in order to promote gender equality. From an apartment in New York and an idea to a celebration of 30 years. Central East European Network for Gender Issues, CEE Gender Network, was established in 1994 within the framework of the European Forum for Democracy and Solidarity. Since then, the network stands as a coalition of women's organizations, foundations, and groups from social democratic, left, and progressive political parties and civil society organizations in Central East Europe, especially in the Western Balkans. Its mission is to promote the empowerment of women and the integration of gender equality goals into the main strategies, policies, and programs of left political parties. The network is inspired and based on the achievements of thousands of women from the former Yugoslavia, anti-fascist fighters in the Second World War, feminists from all social strata, from working class to intellectuals. On the international level and in the UN, it was Vida Tomšić from Slovenia, Nevenka Petrić from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Dunja Pastici Ferencic from Croatia, who have paved the way for gender equality of women, their position in society, and for population and demographic policies that enables women to make decisions about childbirth and their sexuality. Vida Tomšić developed the concept of international UN conferences on women with Helvi Sipila from Finland, and participated in the declaration of our day, March 8, as International Women's Day. Dunja Pastici Ferencic was the first director of UN International Research and Training Institute for the Advancement of Women. These are our progressive assets that we must respect and preserve. For our development and work of the network, we use the legacy of the Korčula Summer School, when the island of Korčula became the center of the world's philosophical and sociological thought, from 1963 to 1974. It was on the initiative of the philosophers Rudi Supek and Milan Kangarga from Zagreb, other intellectuals and students from former Yugoslavia, and prominent European philosophers and scientists, some of which are Jürgen Habermas, Ernst Bloch, Herbert Marcuse, Erich Fromm, Henri Lefebvre, Alfred Jules Ayer, and many others. Due to the specific Mediterranean atmosphere on Korčula, the French philosopher Henri Lefebvre called open-air discussions Dionysian socialism, a perfect combination of progressive theory and the good life it should lead to. Marcuse and Bloch signed a proclamation against Soviet intervention in Czechoslovakia. We also benefited from the legacy of our active participation in the Summer School of Democracy and Social Justice, organized by the NGO Transition to Democracy and Bogdan Denic since 1992. It was the first initiative that gathered about 100 free-thinking progressive participants from the region, primarily open to issues of criticism of war, militarism, nationalism, social injustices, and discrimination. Since the establishment of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe Stability Pact, we actively participated in its work and encouraged the establishment of the Stability Pact Gender Task Force. We were the only initiative that came to Sarajevo on the day of signing the pact with a concrete program called Women Can Do It, which was adopted and implemented in the entire region. In 2024, the Central Eastern European Network for Gender Issues is celebrating the 13th anniversary of its leading think tank, Korčula School, transforming politics through a gender lens. The school is designed as a unique political and ideological space for reflection and dialogue on key ideological and political issues with an emphasis on gender equality. During the 13 years of our meetings, dozens of progressive, left-wing social democrats have passed through the school. The ultimate goal of the Korčula School is that the gender equality precisely represents the basis of our societies in terms of democracy, human rights, but also in terms of distribution of power, social justice, and social well-being. The network is an associate member of the Party of European Socialists, member of PES Women, observer member of the Foundation of European Progressive Studies, and strategic partner of Solidar. It is also an EU ambassador for the EU Pillar on Social Rights. Its chair was awarded the 2020 Silver Rose Award by Solidar and the S&D Group in the European Parliament. The CEE Gender Network is also a partner in several EU gender-related projects. In collaboration with the Foundation for European Progressive Studies, we conducted 2 research projects: Rethinking, Retooling, and Re-energizing Gender Equality Post-COVID-19. It was the first such research of Social Democratic Party's women's forums. A case study: Is gender mainstreaming a reality in social democratic parties in the Western Balkan? The second collaboration was on the inequality that women face up to this day, bridging the gender pay gap in the Western Balkans. Throughout the years, the network has also published several titles and help books, Our First 100 Years, From Quota to Parity, Women and the Economic and Social Crisis, 15 years after the Beijing Conference and beyond, Gender Equality as a Political Issue, Transforming Politics, Women in Politics. There are also several platforms that we built for the implementation of our policies. Gender Equality Platform, signed by every social democratic European party. Refugee and migrant crisis through a gender-differentiated lens. Transforming Politics, intergenerational dialogue on gender equality and solidarity. Our latest addition to the devoted fight for our values is a podcast, Gender Seesaw, where we gather the old and the new generations of free thinkers and advocates for equality and solidarity. The world is once again rapidly changing. We are witnessing more and more societies and countries that strive towards authoritarian systems. Social injustice, lack of wealth, and wars and heavy migrations have brought back fear and nationalism among people, just as right-wing ideas as a legitimate part of the political mainstream. To oppose them, we need ideas that would shake the world. We need, more than ever, a strong and courageous, organized left that can inspire. Although women have participated in progressive movements throughout history, from the French Revolution to the present day, their contribution has often remained on the margins. In the century-long historical turmoil in the fight against various repressions, theorists and activists Klara Zetkin, Rosa Luxemburg, Ana Kulishov, Nada Dimic, the Bakovic sisters, Bianca Pomeranci, and many others fought against traditional frameworks and for equal position of women in society. Let us be guided by the words of Dolores Ibarruri, La Pasionaria, who founded Mujeres Antifascistas in 1933 with the aim of opposing fascism and militarism. It is better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. And whether it is on the field of war or in everyday fight for human rights, we must always rely on the words of Italian Marxist philosopher, linguist, and journalist Antonio Francesco Gramsci. My mind is pessimistic, but my will is optimistic.
How long do we have